Hello and welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Locker Room of Voice of the People TV. I am Jerry Apelioha, your go-to host, and we've got a power-packed show for you today. The football action is heating up, and we're here to bring you all the latest drama, breaking stories, and insider scoops from around the globe. Let's not forget the transfer window for the month of January is already looking very interesting as so many clubs made some very interesting moves. We'll be talking about all of that and more on the show this lovely afternoon. I'm not alone. I've been joined by Maiwa, and Ikechukwu makes a controversial return with me here on the show this afternoon. But definitely we'll get to start with the controversial part. Well, I want to say welcome to the show this afternoon.
Good evening, Gary, and good evening, yes. I don't know why you have to say I made a controversial.
Controversial return.
I don't know why you have to introduce me like that, but then, I mean, it's part of it. Football is controversial. It comes with a lot of ups and downs. You know, sometimes referee takes decisions, and then everyone keeps screaming, "This is not what we want. This is not right." And so it's part of the game. So maybe if you decide to call me a controversial person at this point, I quite understand. That's what Liverpool fans does. So
wow. Well, you have to take that. You have to punch load bets. Like you're good at punches. But don't worry, I have all it takes. You know, I'm here for you. I'm like, you know the Klitschko days. You know, I look my gentle, but don't worry, I have the time for you. We'll come. Anyway, why you understand what it takes to be here. Of course, it's great to have you, Maiwa, joining us and still licking the wounds and the fact that Martinez is out for the season. I dropped a message on a group which I belong to, talking about sport enthusiasts from all around the world, and I said just about the only shining light in Manchester United gets injured and gets out for the rest of the season. And I asked, who did Man U offend? All the Man United fans started doing their hands like this. Don't know. And I said maybe they will have to ask my wife where he calls that place. Is it Rabiji or something? And maybe they will have to gather my you fast and go to that place and ask for forgiveness of their sins. Baby, my wife, it's great to have you.
It's always amazing to be here. I saw the news that he is injured and will be out for till the end of the season. I think it's high time the Manchester United board they find their way to Oshun. There's a place called the Agbiji, very popular place. They need to go and take some, river bath there, and probably maybe their sins will be washed away. But in any case, it's coming home to bite them. The board has made a whole lot of bad decisions, and you cannot wish away the bad decisions you have made. Definitely, there's always consequence for every actions, and that's the consequence of 10 years of investing poorly, in players since Ferguson left. They've not got it right in terms of signings, and they let a whole lot of the academic talent. They let them go, and those same guys they are doing fantastic, in the other clubs they have moved on to. But in any case, like I always say, it's a good one. Chelsea coming back and winning that particular game yesterday, chasing Man City away from the top four. But in any case, it's a good to talk football. Thank you for having me, Jerry.
All right, let's start from the home front where the head coach of the senior national team of South Africa, Hugo Broos, has laid out how he thinks his team will beat all comers in their group to the 2026 World Cup tickets. South Africa are currently joint leaders in the group on 7 points, but in second position behind Rwanda, who have a superior goal difference. They are also level on points with Benin Republic, their next opponent, when the qualifiers resume in March. Analyzing his team's chances with Nigeria still seen by many as a threat despite their poor start to the series, with just 3 points and still without a win and also 4 points behind the leaders. Bruce outlined that what his team needs to do, which will negate whatever the Nigerian team under new coach Eric Chelle do in the remaining games of the qualifiers. And he did a lot of calculation on how he's going to be at the 2026 World Cup. They say if wishes were horses, but in the position that South Africa stands, there is every reason for the man to be positive that they stand a chance of qualifying for the World Cup.
Absolutely. I mean, you only want to be, shooting yourself on the foot if you don't actually start, beating your own drum at this point. I said it here yesterday that the only strong opponent in that particular group, apart from Nigeria, the only strong team rather in that particular group apart from Nigeria is South African side, right? And the interesting part of it is that going into this particular, round of qualifiers, Nigeria is playing also against South Africa at some point, and this manager, talking about Hugo Bruce, is a manager who our own manager, Asensio, Chelle, understand how to beat. They actually played in the qualifier, in the last AFCON, where South Africa actually lost 2-0 to the Malian side, with less quality compared to what Nigeria have. So for us, it's a very big one. So for him to start saying this, it's all about, for me, what I see is him trying to rally out, his team and let them believe that, we've got all it takes, because Nigeria has really always found it difficult to play South Africa. It's a mental thing. Just like United don't have to be informed to beat Liverpool when we want to play them. It doesn't change anything, right? So
let's backtrack, please. We are doing.
We saw the last.
Because the stats are there to show.
We saw the last game. Nigeria. We saw the last game. Liverpool against Manchester United. We're not informed, but we turned up against Liverpool. That's exactly how.
That's the biggest achievement you've had.
No. I'm saying that's
in the past. 6, 7 seasons. That's one of your biggest achievements.
No, you're not getting it. I'm saying this is how derby turn out. You don't have to be.
It's no longer a derby. As far as
it's a derby. It's a derby.
One-sided. When it happens that Man United gets something out of a game between them and Liverpool in recent times.
No, it doesn't change.
It's like a fluke.
No,
it's like
see.
It's unprecedented. Please come and rescue us here.
It doesn't change anything.
No.
The truth here is
there's now a gulf between Man United and Liverpool. Head to head. Head to head.
Over time?
Yes.
Or last
time.
Wait now.
In the last couple of years, the gulf between Man U and Liverpool.
The last couple of years or history?
Last couple of years.
Why would you say last couple of years?
Last couple of years.
Why would you say? You're talking about head to head. You're mentioning last couple of years. Why would you say last couple of years?
Calm down. That's why I said in recent times.
See,
Liverpool
it's the point.
And Man U, they are gulf ahead of each other. Liverpool is here. Man United is behind here. That's why they are currently occupying the 13th position to show for it.
You can say that.
7-0 is not a fluke.
Exactly my point.
5-0 is
Pep Guardiola defeated Mourinho in his first Clasico 5-0.
Okay.
And Flick has done it twice against Ancelotti.
Okay.
Huge score margin. It doesn't change the fact that it's still a derby.
Okay, let's take it back.
So back to this South Africa. South Africa,
back.
Nigeria. This man is speaking from the fan. Okay, this is Nigeria. We always have a good game against them. And if South Africa can only do one thing against Super Eagles, one thing, that's all they need to do. Make sure they win all of their games. Whatever it is, the game against Nigeria and South Africa turns out should not be their issue at this point. 7 points against 4 points. So all they need to do is make sure they win all of their remaining games and wait and see what happens against Nigeria and not lose against Nigeria. That's exactly what the might be running in the head of the. If I were the manager of South Africa, that's exactly what I would be saying, and I believe that's exactly what he's saying, that there's no chance for Super Eagles at this point because they have advantage of 3 points going into this particular round of qualifiers.
Okay, Mayowa, definitely Hugo Bruce have a right to start bragging and doing permutations that he has a better chance of qualifying. If you take a look at the group for our viewers on the screen, you can also call in what you feel about Hugo Bruce's permutations. You can tell us what you think about it, and do you agree with him or disagree with him, whether as a Nigerian or a South African who might be watching us. We also like to hear from them wherever you're watching from. Okay, Mayowa, Hugo Bruce is already ranting with so much confidence, and we understand why.
I mean, we've not clothed ourselves in glory. Ikechukwu said something the other time that apart from South Africa, Nigeria is the strongest team in that particular group. I disagree. If we are the strongest team, we will not be sitting fifth. As far as the table is concerned, we are the fifth best in that particular group. Lesotho is even ahead. I mean, the table does not lie. We can have all the players that we want. We can have all the stars all we want, but the table does not lie. We are the fifth best team, and that's the reason why we are where we are. At the moment, even South Africa is not even the strongest. You might say they are leading by a goal difference or whatever it is. If the World Cup qualification closes today, Rwanda qualifies automatically to the World Cup. So Rwanda is the best team at the moment right now. Is the best team in that particular group. And the thing is this, Ikechukwu said something which is very correct also. South Africa need to all their games minus Nigerian game. Let's assume Nigeria even beats them. Yes, Nigeria South Africa, like I said, it's a derby game. It can swing anywhere based off the fact that the rivalry has been for a very long time, and each team wants to out the other. If they win every other game and lose to Nigeria, try for the World Cup, because I mean they probably outshine Nigeria with 1 point. So definitely I'll be brimming with confidence. The only tough opposition in that particular group that will probably give South Africa a run for their money will probably be maybe the Nigerians. In as much as Rwanda is better than them as at this moment, I think they stand a better chance than Rwanda playing Rwanda, than Nigeria. So definitely, it's very correct saying that I want to prop up my boys such that we don't play South Africa until later part of the qualifier. So if they can continue to win the games, the pressure continues to mount against Nigeria, and that Nigeria might probably play into their hands. So definitely, if I were Go Boost, I'll be saying the same thing. Talking of propping the boys up to prepare for that particular game. And as it is right now, since about 95% of the players that play for South Africa, they play in the South African League, they are already starting their preparation in earnest, and probably that might even work in their favor, owing to the fact that they have the team together already. Since majority of them play their trade in South Africa, that might probably play to that time. So I want to believe in what Ugo Bruce is saying. He has every right to say that. The
All right.
position on the table says it all.
Okay, we understand that one of our viewers who wants to join us via Paul. It's great to have you join us on Locker Room. Hello. Hello, are you with us? Okay. All right. Okay. Why still looking at more permutations as far as this one is concerned? I would have loved us to take a look at the two games against Rwanda and against Zimbabwe. If anything happens as far as a draw is concerned, they should just forget about anything that has to do with the World Cup qualifiers. So all these permutations and so on, South Africa might not be our problem if we draw against Rwanda.
True.
If we come against Zimbabwe and we draw, any game that will draw points, nobody will might not even be thinking. South Africa will just be a game, we'll just go there and honor it for FIFA's sake, not to receive sanctions and so on and so forth. So we have to take each game as it comes. And I will expect that Richard should not be distracted with whatever Bruce is trying to do, because this is also mind games.
Absolutely. These two games are very key because it's one of those games where it's not just about how the result turn out positively, right? It's actually about telling the group that we've still got this covered. Because yes, it's all about 6 games to play. Nigeria has to win absolutely 6 games, and I can assure you that no team in that group can win their remaining 6 games. No team.
That's
So
really big.
we have just one assignment: win those 6 games and qualify. Now, for me, I don't see Rwanda as a problem. You will see. The next game against Rwanda is going to be our easiest game. I even fear Zimbabwe more. There's something about the Super Eagles, right? The Super Eagles turn up against a team that we see as a threat more than a team that will. Remember our first game in the Nations Cup against Cote d'Ivoire? We defeated them in the group stage before we got to the final, and they messed us up. In the first game, we know it's the Cote d'Ivoire, the not just a big team in African football, the host of that tournament. Nigeria played like a wounded lion and won that game 1-0. We came to the finals and we beat them before we do it again. A lot of permutations, yes, we did that en route to 1994 World Cup. Anytime we played Cote d'Ivoire and defeated them once, we're definitely going to win the Nations Cup. So many things, we got into the finals and we were even lucky to go 1-0 up. And that game was one of our worst games in the last 10 years. So yes, my fear is with Zimbabwe, not even with Rwanda. Nigeria will beat Rwanda. I can stake my money on it any day, anytime. But Zimbabwe, let's not defeat Rwanda. Like I said yesterday, let's not turn up against Rwanda like Real Madrid and then against Zimbabwe like Botswana. So the Super Eagles need to come up in those 2 games with their A game, face the both opponents. Like if you remember also in 1998 World Cup, our game before, after our group game, going into that particular encounter against Denmark that actually trashed Nigeria in that around a 16 tie. The result would have been, if we had defeated Denmark, we were going to play Brazil. So we are already thinking about Brazil.
Yeah, I remember.
And we got there. Ebe Sand and Co. messed Nigeria up, where the Super Eagles could not even find their place in that particular game. Exactly how we've been playing. It's part of us. We tend to take our foot off the gas when we're playing against a team that we feel we're better than. Rwanda, now we've seen them, they are a threat. They've shown that they can actually play football. So Nigeria is going there with everything that we've got in our arsenal. But then, how prepared are we for Zimbabwe? That's my biggest fear. We tend to take, comparatively lesser team for granted. We've seen that, okay, Rwanda at the top of the lot, and then they're more like, okay, a big team now in that particular group. We want to face them, with the might of, everything that we've got. But then how well are we prepared for the other teams that are not at the level of Rwanda in that group? That's the question we should be asking now.
All right, let's see how that pans out as far as the qualifiers is concerned. Still talking about the Super Eagles, where the coach of the senior national team of Nigeria, Chelle, won't be making any drastic changes to the Super Eagles squad for the upcoming World Cup qualifier games against Rwanda and Zimbabwe, respectively. Chelle will unveil his inaugural list of players called up for both games at the end of the month. The games are crucial to the Super Eagles' chances of making it to the World Cup 2026 after a poor start to the series. Are we expecting any major shake-up? Maiwa, let me go to Maiwa. Taking a look at the fact he's a new coach, should you be expecting that there should be some major shake-up in that team going into that game against Rwanda and Zimbabwe? All right, we have a caller. Let's take our first caller first before we go to Maiwa. Hello, you're welcome to Locker Room.
Yeah, good morning. You guys are doing a nice job.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I would like to comment a little bit on that, on this aspect you guys are talking about. My only thing that I'm thinking right now is if Nigeria can beat Rwanda, and in the first 2 games, Rwanda and Zimbabwe, I think we're good to go because we're going to be using the momentum going on. That's my thought. The first 2 games that's coming right now is very, very important. The only thing I can beg Nigerian and NFF, what do I call them, to leave this man to do his job. Let him select his player by himself with merit. The 3 home base. I know the three home base they're playing for that team too. If I can give them chance, I think we'll go a long way. Thank you. That's what I have to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. What's the name again?
This is Taurid.
Taurid, okay, yeah, a regular. It's great to have. All the way from, is it Chicago again? I can't remember.
Chicago. All the way from Chicago.
How's Chicago right now?
Everything is good. We are chilling. It's very cold right now. So
okay, happy chilling. It's great to have you. Okay, the man has just said it all. The coach should be giving all the necessary room to make his decisions. Maiwa, we're just coming to you before we took Taurid from Chicago.
Well, definitely, I don't expect any major shake-up. The reason is very simple. We left it too late. The NFF left it too late before they hired the coach. The same thing. Remember, Finidi did the same thing, and it brought us where we are right now. When Finidi came in, he was doing chopping and changing. He was changing a whole lot of people. He never wanted some players to play, leaving out, overlooking the established players that have done it for Nigeria before. I think at this moment, we just have to go to our base, and our base is the core of the team, minus some players that are not playing regularly for their club, that don't have any business, with the national team. Minus those, I don't think we will see any major shake-up. However, I want to sound a note of warning to the godfathers in the NFF. I hope they will not do their they will not wave their magic wand, whereby we will see the likes of Tanimu, Paul Onachu, and Sadiq Umar in that particular team. Because I mean, Chelle is literally flying blind at the moment. I don't think he will probably use the kind of players he wants because the time is just too short. We need the regular players to show up and to deliver, and that's just it. So I don't expect a major shake up anyway.
All right, some even called us out on yesterday's show talking about Tanimu. I still maintain my ground. Tanimu has no business playing in that Super Eagles setup. If we are playing friendlies, then yes, we can invite players to test them. And that is the kind of, we are talking about friendlies at home. You cannot be playing on the bench for Crawley Town and you come to play in the Super Eagles. Even it's unfair. It's unfair to players in the Nigerian professional football who play week in, week out. That you go and get a player in the Tanzanian league who plays in one club side. The name sounds funny. I know with all due respect to the Tanzanian league, because somebody even called me out for saying, do I know the quality in the Tanzanian league? Come on. I've been in this profession for donkeys of years. There's nothing you want to tell me the Tanzanian league can offer better than the Nigerian professional football league, with all due respect.
When there's no law, there's no offense.
Yeah.
You know, they say when purpose is not defined, abuse is inevitable.
Yeah.
You know, there's something about the Super Eagles and how we do business here in this part of the world. We don't look at merit first. We don't look at, you know, how it's going to be better for the overall good, right? Whoever it is that invited Tamu is obviously an influential person. Like I said yesterday when we were having this conversation about invites, we talked about how Amaju Pinnick once boasted that this is my slot. So the big question is, whose slot is Tanimu? We don't know.
That means there are various slots
meant
for so many powerful people.
Exactly. So
as far as the Super Eagles selection is concerned,
it's all about activating.
Yeah.
This is one of those complaints that the former Super Eagles captain Augustine Oluse complained about the then ex-Chelsea fullback Celeste Bayaro, when he was talking about you don't come for qualifiers when there's a major tournament, you're part of the team because of influence. So we've seen this thing. It didn't start today. And trust me, it's not going to even stop now. But it has gotten to a level lower, because how can you invite a player playing Tanzanian league? By all means, has any Tanzanian club side won the African Champions League before?
Do they even qualify?
Let's even start from.
Do they even qualify to play in the CAF Championship?
At least they play playoff. The question here is, how do you invite a player with a superior, far lower league than the MPFL, where you don't even recognize the players as main Super Eagles, you call them the Super Eagles Team B, and then you invite the player from a league that is not even at their par, and then you tell us that you are doing things on merit? How?
You know, sometimes I understand that even on social media, there are some people who are hired to do PR jobs for these guys. And this is our country. We have no other country. Nigeria is the only country we have. And if, for instance, at my level and age, I cannot see the truth and say it, that means I'm making a joke of this profession.
Absolutely.
As a journalist, I have to speak fairly and speak based on the indices I have seen. And the quality of teams anywhere in the world, they'll go to a match. You don't go to a battle with your worst fighters because of sentiment. Because of sentiment, the king's son, because you are the king's son, we'll put you at the battlefront. When we have warriors who can actually do the job and make sure that we have victory. So now, because we want to please the king, that means the king will also be putting his son in a situation where he's going to be caught in a crossfire and lose his life.
True.
So, and I think I even saw a sentiment where somebody was saying that he virtually saved us in the game. Was it Benin Republic game? That guy was virtually the loophole. Kabi Bassi had to do more than what he supposedly would have done if an Olaino or a better experienced fullback was in that position. Because Tanimu was just there and he was just occupying space, just like Mata. At the end of the day, we lost against Benin Republic. Even the other game, we were just virtually struggling. Our defense went to sleep, was in tatters.
See, the truth is this, right? This story of invite and who is influential reminds me of what's happened recently. I think about last month in Kogi State, where group of SS2 students, they beat up a teacher, and the teacher went into coma. Now, it turned out that the leader of that gang is the son of a local chief.
Okay.
And then this man is using his influence to protect the child. Now, let's say 5-10 years down the line, this guy escapes this punishment. What do you think would be, what do you think he's going to do next? He's definitely going to commit a bigger crime. Right. Now, if we continue like this, bringing someone who is not even worth it, who cannot, see, that guy cannot be a starter in Enyimba.
He will struggle to even...
That guy cannot be a starter in any of the top Nigerian professional football league. Okay, now, a player who is a regular for one of the top clubs in Nigerian league, will he want to go to the Tanzanian league? These are, I don't know, people who do this, even if I want to use my influence to invite a player, let it be that I'm inviting a player that is sitting on the bench in Barcelona.
See, even when Ahmad Jupini came out and said his slot was Ahmed Musa, everybody knows the pedigree of Ahmed Musa. Ahmed Musa is the highest scoring Nigerian player in the World Cup, for crying out loud. This is a player who has scored against Argentina. He has played with top clubs all around the world. And if the NFL president is saying, yes, I sponsor the fact that, yes, we can listen to that.
No, see, because that happened before the 2018 World Cup.
Yeah.
My point is,
and he eventually went to the World Cup and did very well.
Countries that really means business will not take Ahmed Musa, who is not active. England dropped Jack Grealish on the bench.
Fine.
For Euros.
Yeah.
Not just Jack Grealish. They dropped other top talents that if they were Nigerians, trust me, they will be part of the party.
The thing is that every scenario presents itself in a different situation. Let's take a look at Japan-Korea 2002. Delima was virtually injured for the most of the season. Prior to the World Cup, Felipe Scolari stood his ground against the Brazilian FA that he was still going to take Ronaldo Delima to the World Cup. Ronaldo Delima went to that World Cup and blew everybody away.
Sitting on the bench is not being injured. A player can be injured, you know his quality, this guy will turn up and deliver. We can excuse you because that is, part of...
On a good day, looking at the indices, it would have been difficult.
Dalima has won twice the best player in the world before that time. So a player that's won the Ballon d'Or twice should be respected.
The Brazilian FA wanted him to drop him.
It tells you
that they have quality.
It tells you how they work on merit. We can agree on that.
Yeah.
Right. But then, still looking at this man, you know he's not sitting on the bench. You know it is one of those things you call force majeure. It happens. It can happen to your business. Something can happen. So many things can go south.
I think with the fact that Ahmed Musa has proven himself, that is the reason why.
Ahmed Musa is not bigger than Jack Grealish.
I'm not saying it's bigger than Jack Grealish.
I'm saying if England can drop Jack Grealish.
But if you take a look at Ahmed Musa's stats when it comes to the international stage, he is bigger than Jack Grealish.
You're not getting what I'm talking about. Player profile.
Okay.
Player profile.
What's the big deal about Jack Grealish? Jack Grealish because he plays for Man City. That's all.
Not just Man. Exactly my point. Not just Man City. At that point, right?
That's all. There's nothing big about Jack Grealish as far as I'm concerned.
There's nothing big about Jack Grealish, but you cannot say Ahmed Musa is bigger than him. You can't say it now.
I can still say it. From my own perspective, I think Ahmed Musa is a better player than Jack Grealish.
We're not talking about... See, the question here is, we're not even talking about better player. But if we want to talk about better player, Jack Grealish is not just a number 10. Okay. He can also play very well on the flank. And that's what Galileo has been using him, right? Upon his arrival
I think what Ahmed Musa has achieved, I don't think Jack Grealish half of his career will ever achieve.
Achieve in what sense?
In terms of his football career, personally.
What has he achieved?
Jack Grealish's only achievement is playing for Manchester City.
No, what has Ahmed Musa achieved? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, scoring the World Cup. Yeah, it's an achievement. Yeah, whether you like it or not, scoring the World Cup against Argentina twice.
Kano does not have the World Cup goal.
But he's still a great player because he played from Arsenal.
What I'm saying is, you cannot use just a World Cup goal to qualify to say Ahmed Musa is bigger than Jack Grealish.
The fact that Kano Nwankwo scoring the golden goal at the Olympics already is a miles ahead of a lot of players.
How many tournaments has Jack Grealish played for England?
I'm telling you, Jack Grealish for England is a no-show.
What is the biggest club side Ahmed Musa played
Jack Grealish,
in his life, what is the biggest club?
The biggest competition as far as football is concerned is the World Cup. It's the World Cup.
How many clubs? How many? Anybody can go to the World Cup now. Saudi Arabia went to the World Cup with all their players.
Yes, that's why Saudi Arabia players.
They scored 2 goals against Argentina.
Who are the players?
Who are those players that scored those 2 goals against Argentina?
Who are the players?
So tomorrow you come out and tell me those 2
I
players.
think they look at the fact that whether you like it or not, him playing for the Super Eagles and the number of caps he has also achieved, and the fact
it's
that
because he's playing for the Super Eagles. Let him go and play for England. If Jack Grealish were to be,
do you think if England had the quality of Ahmed Musa when he was in his prime, he would not play? Yeah,
that one.
Oh, come on. With all due respect, my one. I don't know whether
in 2014,
Ahmed Musa.
I'm not saying he hasn't paid his dues.
Come on, Ahmed Musa was the highest scorer in the league at what age? At 17.
In Nigerian league.
Yes.
In 2014.
Let Jack Grealish come and play the Nigerian league. By the time they kick him twice, he will go.
The Nigerian league is tougher than EPL.
Yes, in terms of how bad the pitch is.
No.
Can you survive the bad pitches, the bad officiating, the bad facility? Can Jack Grealish survive it for one season? He will go sick. So
does that make you a better player?
That makes you stronger and better.
Okay, good now. Since that has made him a better player, he moved to Europe. Why can't he just replicate it and become the top scorer in Europe? Or in the league he played in, the CSK Moscow. Yes, now he should have gone there too. Since you are coming from a league where the financial is bad.
Let's not forget, age was no longer on his side.
Okay.
Let's not forget. And we all know the situation of age when it comes to the Nigerian.
I don't know the situation of age.
So if it would be unfair, if Ahmed Musa had the facilities and the upbringing that Jack Grealish had, he would even play in Manchester City and Jack Grealish would be on the bench.
Then you will not call him a Nigerian, you call him a British one. That is the same reason why Saka is playing for Arsenal. If Saka develop his game here, he won't be playing for Arsenal
if a Jack Grealish is available in his prime and Ahmed Musa is available in his prime, I will play on Ahmed Musa.
Which Ahmed Musa?
Because his chance of
scoring is it the same Ahmed Musa?
Yes, the same Ahmed Musa, yeah.
No, come on. See, Jack Grealish is way technically better. He's way technically...
The only difference that Jack Grealish has...
Did you see him in Aston Villa?
He played in Manchester City.
No, did you see him in Aston Villa?
What was so special about when he played in Aston Villa?
But the thing is this. The thing is this. Before Jack Grealish came to Beer, there was an Ahmed Musa who was doing business for Leicester City.
Come on.
I mean...
what did he do? What did he do for Leicester City?
Calm down.
Hold on. He played many years for Leicester City.
How many games on the bench? He's not a regular. No. He's not a regular.
Hold on.
The only Nigerian player that played for Leicester City as a regular is Ndidi. Iheanacho and I mean, in fact, Iheanacho had more playing time than Ahmed Musa. He was loaned. Have you forgotten?
Fine,
no,
fantastic.
When Ahmed Musa joined Leicester City, he was a regular.
He wasn't a regular. They gave him time to play. He improved himself.
No. Hold on. When he first of all joined, he was regular. Was he able to sustain that? No. And you know the reason for that. The reason for that is this: before he came to England, he has journeyed around Europe, journeyed to Russia. He was a regular for, I think he played for CSK Moscow. If I'm not mistaken, he was a regular for them.
He also played for Venlo.
For Venlo in the Dutch league. And you also remember, and we are not trying to put allegation on him. You know, if somebody tell you he's 17, you and I know.
I don't know.
When there's no MRI.
I don't know.
When there's no MRI.
Whatever he says his age is his age. It's you and Jerry that will discuss his age.
That's what I'm saying now.
If he had the platform that Jack Grealish had, Ahmed Musa would.
We can have that conversation.
For Manchester City anytime.
But there was no way we would have known.
See, Jack Grealish.
A lot of persons had.
Okay, why has Jack Grealish failed to cut it after one season?
Exactly my point.
English players are just. Anyway, let me not.
What I'm saying is
that will make English players come for me.
A lot of players had this platform,
this
opportunity that Jack Grealish had in City, right? A lot of players had that.
At what age?
No, whatever the age, but they cannot break into the Manchester City squad. That's what I'm saying. So
that's why
it doesn't change anything. Even if Ahmed Musa
has started, bench Roma now.
Even if Ahmed Musa has started, no, it's not that.
Jack Grealish is a bench Roma at Leicester City. Manchester City.
See. The problem is
because he has not been able to prove himself. They went to bring in Doku. Yeah, that's why they signed Doku.
See, let me tell you the problem with Jack Grealish in Manchester.
Okay, what?
Jack Grealish is a number 10, not a winger.
Okay.
Never a natural winger.
He didn't know that before he signed.
Pep brought him in because of Kevin De Bruyne. He needs somebody that can actually drive in the middle. And then, but the problem is, De Bruyne, when this guy came, De Bruyne was fit. One of those very odd seasons where
Do you know
you
that? Do you know that Jack Grealish is a lazy player?
I don't know about laziness, but I'm saying
Jack Grealish cannot give you the work rate that Kevin De Bruyne will give you.
no. We are not comparing that. I'm saying
he cannot survive.
He would have
cannot survive a number 10 in Pep Guardiola's team.
He would have been a very good cover. But the problem was,
how would you sign a player for 100 million to come and cover?
No, see, that's what I'm saying.
He has to play that 100 million out. He has to show 100 million. You are talking about 100 million pounds.
Wait,
it's because an English player is giving preferential treatment. At the end of the day, he got exposed because the pressure of playing in a big club side, he could not measure up.
The season they won the Champions League,
yes,
he was an integral part. He was a starter. He was a key player of that team. We know, right?
We're talking about
no.
Let's leave Jack Grealish.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Jack Grealish show. Anyway, let's talk about Victor Boniface, the Bayer Leverkusen goalkeeper, talking about Lucas Radecki believes that the Super Eagles striker Victor Boniface shouldn't be criticized for his near transfer to Saudi Arabia club Al Nassr. Negotiations had taken place between the Saudi club and Bayer Leverkusen, with the German team valuing Boniface at £50 million. However, the deal ultimately fell through, leaving the transfer unresolved. And in an interview, the Finnish goalkeeper remarked on how alluring the substantial offer was for the Nigerian international. It's impressive how he approached the situation directly, and he said that that was the best way to benefit both the club and himself. And he has earned the respect of everyone of his team. For me, I'm still amazed why. I still don't understand why they picked a Duran over Victor Boniface. Is it that maybe he demanded something extra? But they paid extra money to get Duran. And that is one thing about players. I'm not saying it's Boniface's fault that he's playing in the German Bundesliga, because he just played one season with Bayer Leverkusen after moving, is he from Belgium right now? And he blew the German Bundesliga away, scoring goals are plenty. With that kind of performance, any club side that is serious will surely want to get him. Maybe it has to do with his injury problems. I don't know. Maybe that could be the reason why they changed their mind in the long run and decided to go for Duran, who, for me, the only thing that separates Duran from becoming a player that shows potential was that goal he scored against Bayern Munich. Nothing else that has been special about Duran, as far as I'm concerned. He doesn't strike me as a player who can maintain the momentum. He's more like a player who can come from the bench and change the game. That is it. Just like the likes of Solskjaer was doing back in the days, some players who come from the bench and change his game. But I still don't know why they put Duran over Victor Boniface. Why?
Well, the thing is very simple. Even Victor Boniface is more proven than a Duran. Duran is just a one-season wonder, and that's just it. And it's even in the second season that is even blowing people away, and that's the reason. A whole lot of things were not revealed. The reason why negotiation broke down. I think negotiation broke down between Al Nassr and Bayer Leverkusen. Probably maybe Bayer Leverkusen wanted more money, and obviously you will not rate the Bundesliga ahead of the EPL. So definitely, they would believe that a player from the EPL will have more quality than a player that plays in the Bundesliga. I think it's not the conversation did not break down between Victor Boniface and Al Nassr. And as far as I'm concerned, like the goalkeeper rightly said, Victor Boniface handled it very well. He didn't allow that to distract him. He handled it professionally, and I think every other player should follow suit. Also, I've always said this thing over and over again. Who is the agent in charge of Boni? Who is the agent in charge of negotiating contract for Boniface with Bayer Leverkusen and Al Nassr? Who is the intermediary? Because I think if the person is strong enough, if the person is well renowned, I think he should be able to get the deal over the line. I want to believe that. I mean, it took Al Nassr to pay more money. I mean, how much is Bayer Leverkusen asking? They were asking less than the £70 million they paid for Duran. Yet they decided to pay more for Duran. Probably it has to do with the person negotiating the deal, and that's the only reason why Boniface is not a player of Al Nassr. I've constantly said it. Our players, they need to start investing in top agents that can get the deal over the line, because definitely that was a very lucrative deal for him, and would have probably excelled in the Saudi league playing with the likes of Ronaldo. But in any case, let's see how it goes anyway with what with the Durant they have gotten.
Well, the thing is, when I first saw that deal, I just started laughing. I was praying that he shouldn't go to Saudi. Because trust me, come on, this guy is supposed to be in his prime. This is supposed to be the peak of his power.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you be leaving Europe, one of the top 5 leagues in Europe, to Saudi Arabia, where we get players that have done it all and seen it all in Europe, right? This is where players who are in their twilight can go to enjoy the bag and then retire. This is not where the likes of Victor Boniface and Victor Osimhen should be going to at this point. Now, the big question, you raised a very salient point. You said Kevin Durant, who is comparatively lesser in quality, exposure, and achievement to Victor Boniface, arrived in Saudi with a bigger bag and a bigger pay compared to what they were pricing. I'll tell you a very simple thing. What happened with Victor Boniface started with Victor Osimhen. They came for Osimhen, they pulled back, they got Ivan Toney. They came for Victor Boniface, they pulled back, they got Durant. It's simple. The plot is this. What I see in all of this is just a very simple marketing trick. Pull you. This Victor Osimhen is at the time 8th Ballon d'Or in ranking. Use the law of contrast, pull the bigger fish, and then go back. Everybody's okay. Is he going there? And then take someone else. So the attention keeps coming back to Saudi League. Yes, I'm not denying the fact that these players might also have interest because of the bag. But what I see most is these people are trying to actually play, a very huge marketing game on players as well.
More like sports washing.
Absolutely, that's the word. So for me, I'll rejoice that he didn't go, because I can't imagine our players who are supposed to be competing in Europe. I want to see another Nigerian in the Ballon d'Or ranking top 20 next season or next year. That's how I want to see them. Just imagine Lukman next season and a club in Saudi is calling him. What's he going there for? This is when someone was saying players everywhere move for the bag and all that. I say Cristiano Ronaldo will never leave Real Madrid at the peak of his power at 24, 25, 26. Lionel Messi will never leave Barcelona at the peak of his power. Even if they are leaving, they will never be going to Saudi Arabia. Not Saudi Arabia.
Maybe a bigger challenge. Okay, let's talk about some bit of transfer news that have been done. And one very interesting one was the fact that Aston Villa officially announcing the loan signing of Marco Asensio from Ligue 1 champions Paris Saint-Germain. The club confirmed the addition of the former Real Madrid star on their website on Monday. And Aston Villa said they are pleased to sign him. But what happened to Marco Asensio? He was blowing the Spanish league away at some point in time. Somehow, he made the move to PSG. He has not cut it out. And now he's coming to play for Aston Villa, Maiwa.
Definitely, so sometimes, especially the Spanish players, when they move out, they struggle. Remember, a whole lot of the Spanish guys in Man City, they ended up going back to Barcelona. Eric Garcia, Laporte, Laporte in Saudi Arabia now. What's his name now? Pedri, a whole lot of them. I think when they leave their league and move out, they always end up struggling, and that's the reason why you don't find majority of the Spanish players playing outside Spain. I think he was doing well with Real Madrid. However, because of he didn't have enough game time, he decided to move to a PSG that was really interested in. But with PSG, he has not been able to cut it, and that's why he's moving to Aston Villa. I can bet it with you. I think he might struggle in Aston Villa again. I think the best move for him is probably to go back to Spain. It has been a consistent thing with the Spanish players. They are always struggling anytime they are outside Spain, especially in their prime. It happened to a whole lot of them. Even some of them get homesick at some point. The likes of the Spanish guys in Man City, they were homesick and they were crying that they wanted to go back home, and that's the reason why they left. So he's not doing well. The move to PSG it was not working well for him. Playing time has reduced drastically, and that's the reason why he's moving to Aston Villa. Aston Villa is becoming the new Ikorodu Real Madrid now in quote. I mean, getting all
You
the
don't
rejected
understand why there's
players
a
from
Spanish man
everywhere.
there, Unai Emery, and someone
Yeah,
who understands
definitely.
Europe. Yeah, that could be the
Yeah,
reason
definitely
why.
get. Yeah, definitely getting all the rejected players that are no longer useful in their club in quote now, getting them, assembling them together, and let's see if he's able to turn things around. I mean, a Xabi Alonso did it. A whole lot of the players for Bayern Leverkusen that won the league, majority of them were ejected players from their club, and he was able to turn things around. Let's see, if Unai Emery and Aston Villa are able to do the same thing with the likes of Marco Asensio and Rashford and the rest of them.
Okay, so I think I'm going to actually pick it from two fronts, right? The first front I'm going to pick it from is where Mario actually mentioned, players in Spain moving to England and then they struggle. I don't think it's peculiar to Spanish players. It's actually an European thing. Many of them, when they leave their country, because the Europeans actually, if you remember, Europe was actually built on ethnic lines. These guys are highly cultural people. You might look at them and say they don't have culture, but they have peace in their homeland. And one thing about football is not just what happened on the field. I say it all the time. The cross of what you see on the field is as a result of about 80% of what you see outside the field. Now, these guys, most of these Europeans, play football for passion. Not like Africans and South Americans that actually play largely to escape poverty. Now, when they leave, I mean, we can look at English players. Many of them left England. When they leave, they don't become success outside. Spanish players go here. They also don't. It happens to a lot of them across Europe. So that's that for that. And now for Asensio was never a key player for Real Madrid. He was just fortunate to be part of those players who were, in that Super Madrid team. Super sub comes in and do one or two wonders. He wasn't even as important as Rodrigo of today in Real Madrid.
Wasn't a regular.
Right now, he moved to PSG because to be very fair with all the players he played with.
He wanted to get regular time.
This guy wants to play regularly, but we know he's not a top talent. Let's not argue. Let's not lie to ourselves.
Yeah, he's just a super sub.
Exactly. Now he's in Aston Villa. Let's see how he's going to take it up, because this is a stage that is lesser compared to the two stages he was coming from.
The pressure
is also less. I mean, if you don't win a trophy in Madrid, there's a problem.
Yeah.
PSG is the biggest team in France, so you must keep to that level. Aston Villa is just trying to break the roof and become, just one of those kinds, get a good season like what we saw in 2013 with Leicester City, and 2014 rather with Leicester City. So these things happen all of the time. So if we look at all of these things, is it 2014, 2016 Leicester City won the league?
Yeah, 2016.
2016. Yeah. So these things happen all of the time with players like Asensio. I was even hoping at some point that Liverpool would get him, because we were also looking at him.
Yeah, Liverpool was looking at him.
Average teams like that will always look at him, and it's part of those things.
Wait, did I just get that? Wait, were you trying to just somehow...
PK, why did you say that? Average team. When we start war?
Come on. I think he's asking for trouble.
No, the truth is, they are trying to come back.
It's not be angry. See, they are happy to.
How many top talents do you have in your team?
So they don't even start. Because if I start with Man United this evening, I'm sure one hour, the many part of the show will not be enough. So let's not even go there. Let's not even go there. Average team, come on. Okay, when Asensio was doing well, we were still winning the Champions League. We were still blowing teams away. That was 2016. What are you saying? 2017, Asensio was doing well, and the club was somehow interested. And I think Liverpool not signing was a good one, because we have ended up with like another Naby Keita, who came and just enjoyed his money and left without achieving anything, just being a perpetual injury and bench warmer. I think even Alcantara at some point in time came to spend some injury years at Liverpool. All thanks to him, he has gone, and then that is history. But talking about the transfer window, I think the club that made the biggest moves was Manchester City. And still yet, the results are not showing. They brought in Nico Gonzalez to the club side, and we also know that Martin Stell, he rejected the offer of going to Tottenham, but I'm surprised that 9 minutes, maybe someone, that is how maybe agents and some people play a crucial role in making some players have a second thought in making some moves. And that is one thing a lot of our African players, mostly Nigerian players, don't have. And I think it was a wise decision for him to come to Tottenham eventually. After he rejected him, he would have said, I can't leave Bayern Munich and go to a low-class side like Tottenham. Yes, it is a loan move, an opportunity to have playing time and prove yourself. Though Tottenham is struggling this season, but if out of the whole struggling in that team, he's able to bring himself out, he'll be able to make a good move in the summer.
Yes, it's a very good one. It's just similar to the case of Asensio. You know, a player who needs to actually move up the notch. And what you need is a place where you can play regularly, a place where you can actually cement your place as one of these top bright talents because you're not getting playing time in under Vincent Kompany. Right. Now he's in Tottenham where there's less pressure. You don't have to win all games. Just have to play regularly and keep Tottenham afloat. That's exactly what Tottenham has always been known for a couple of years. Winning trophies or not winning trophies has never really been an issue for them. So for Martin Stell going to Tottenham at this point, and for me, it's a very big one. He's coming to a league where his talent is really going to be tested. Premier League is far more physical than the Bundesliga, right? And a league where you meet a lot of pace. He's a very pacey player, and the way Postecoglou actually set up his team, I think this guy is going to be an integral part. He's supposed to be what this former Chelsea, Timo Werner, was supposed to be for Tottenham. But then I think this guy seems a little more technical. Let's see how he pans out in a couple of days. But then I think he's a very good player. But coming to the Premier League, two things should be on his head. For me, the first one is that he needs to really keep his cool because this is supposed to be a stepping stone. If he fails to actually live up to the expectation of his hype coming to England, he might end up getting stuck in Tottenham. Bayern might just lay him off, or he might even go to a team that is lesser than Tottenham at the end of the day. Yeah. Or if he gets it right, then of course there's bigger things will come for him, and that might just be the beginning of his rejuvenation.
Mario, we're pressed for time. The reigning champions have spent £170 million already, and they're still yet. They are losing to Arsenal by 5-1. Some will say it's still early. No, they will have to bet in these players. With what they spend, even I'm surprised that Liverpool is still not signing players. I don't know what's the brain behind it. Whether there's something wrong with Liverpool or Liverpool is running their luck. But good one for Man City, but I don't think, in spite of this spending, is going to change their fortune system because they are already out of the title race.
Well, they started late, bringing in Kusanov, Mamouche, and Nico Gonzalez right now. They started late. You don't expect them to. They signed all these players very late, and even before then, the result has gone bad. The bottom line is this: everybody has found out Guardiola. Guardiola failed to rebuild, and you can't do a rebuild in January. A whole lot of the players he bought, they will take time to integrate. We saw the first game for Kusanov; it was a very horrible game for him. Gifting away chances. Since then, he has not tasted full action again, and that is he has to be integrated into the team slowly. So definitely they're out of it. They're just trying to see if they can make Europe. But after the season, probably they will need to rebuild because a lot of people have found Guardiola out. For Matistel, it's a good one that is coming to Tottenham. Like Ike rightly said, it's more like a Timo Werner kind of player. However, he's more technically gifted. But the problem has always been if they sign you in January, they expect you to deliver. The pressure is always much. I'm just hoping that because he's very young and he's very fragile, I just hope he doesn't cave under the enormous pressure he will be in Tottenham to be able to perform at least to the certain hype that he got before they decided to bring him on. A lot of good moves, but let's say it pans out anyway.
All right, unlike some people that had problems and still yet, the only way they could find a solution was to sign a Patrick Dogo from Lecce for £25 million. Who knows how to score own goals? Anyway, that's the story for the other day. That's the story for the other day. You are signing players who can score own goal and you have problem. It's all right. Anyway, big thanks, Mario. Thank you, Chiku, for being a part of the show. Thanks for being also behind the scene alongside Shegun, as well as Alex, and of course Jeremiah. I know Ikechukwu has some reservations, but keep it cool. That was the final shot. My name is Jerry Apela. I say thanks for being a part of the show. Until meet again, stay safe, and if not, it's not all. What is it really? This was all right. See you next time on Locker Room.